How's it going, everybody? I am back in Fallout 4, and this time I am at Croup Manor, and I'm going to be building a defense tower, or like guard post type of thing, but this is more of a tower than just a guard post. And so, the first thing I start out with is this foundation, and all I do is I move it up against the fencing of Croup Manor, so I'm having a huge issue with standing on top of the fencing, but eventually I just get on the other side of the fence and it's a little bit easier. But I just try to line it up as evenly as possible because it is kind of curved because it goes around the driveway. So I just tried to make it as flush with that side as possible. And then on one of the sides, I just go ahead and grab this shack bridge, the one that has the plywood walkways, and I just kind of plop it next to the foundation. And I just want to kind of have like a little walkway off the side because I'm going to have that be the way that they get onto this tower. Um, I end up building like two like platform areas on both sides that are also like guard post areas that you can kind of guard off of, and then the main building. And so what I end up doing right here is just placing some stairs up, and you can see that it kind of hangs off on the left side, but that's no big deal because I do end up fixing that. And I also put in some fences on this so that there's a little bit of something to hide behind. So it's not quite just open on the sides. So right there you can see, pretty simple so far. And then the next thing that I do is I go ahead and I grab this fence piece, and I use it because it's curved and I want to have the junk wall line up with the front of the foundation, and then also make it back to the like shack bridge I have on that side. And I can't grab that tool, but then eventually at the right angle it lets me pick it up. You guys will probably notice that I decorated the statue thing in the middle area. I had intended on it, but uh, Dog Breath had mentioned that I should decorate it with like a statue and stuff, even though I had intended to do that. I wanted to kind of shout him out because he gives me tons of awesome ideas, and yeah, I always appreciate all the ideas that you guys give me. There was an issue where another subscriber, Infinity, had also suggested something. It was the shooting range, and whenever I forgot who had asked me to build that, and then Infinity claimed it in the comments, and I just was like, yeah, that's the person that did it. And Dog Breath he wasn't like upset. It seemed like he was joking about it, but he also had suggested it. So shout out to both of you guys for the awesome suggestions. Uh, and yeah, just so you guys know, I'll build things that you guys like want to see me build. Like, I love getting suggestions and ideas and stuff. Um, People had mentioned that I should build a guard tower, but I already intended on building guard towers or a guard tower. Um, I'm also going to build a farm and also some housing for the farmers of this settlement. And it'll kind of be separate from the house. I'm going to build it on the back side of the settlement, not where like I have the like bathroom with like the bath and the toilet and stuff, but I'm gonna have it like to the when you walk back there on the left, there's a whole open area that I can build in, and I'm gonna build it there. But right here, I'm just placing this down because I wanted to close off that gap. And I realized that I used the same color, but we cover that up anyway. I went ahead and did it right now just because I was not wanting to look at the same texture twice. It bothered me that much that I was like, I need to add this wall right now so that I don't see the same textures next to each other. Because I knew that the longer that I looked at it, the more it would bother me. And then I just placed down this junk wall on this side, on the side of the stairs, because I wanted to kind of block off that area. And it kind of works like a railing on the side of the shack bridge as well. Yeah, and I just lined it up with the actual fencing on the right side there. But yeah, this little walkway on this side is working out pretty well so far. I think that it looks alright. There's a couple gaps that can be filled in with plywood, which I think that I just grabbed some fencing, I guess. Oh yeah, so I just use the place anywhere tool, and I use it to place this fence kind of in the gap between the plywood and the junk wall, and it looks fine. I leave the gap on the left right there. I didn't have anything that I really thought would fit in that gap, and I wish that I could find something to fit in that gap, but I couldn't. So right here, because I wanted to have like the pillars on the sides, um, I end up using place anywhere to glitch a prefab into the foundation, so you can't really see that it's like multiple pieces, but you can see that it's got the railings and stuff, and so it wouldn't let me clip on any of the railings, or will snap on any of the railings or anything, so it's kind of iffy to let me place it there as well because of the fencing down below. So I just use place anywhere, and it's not going to work, so I had to move it again. But I use place anywhere to I'm trying to line up the overhang of the wall on the left with the right so that it's not like hanging over on one side more than the other. And so after I got it pretty even, I grabbed another one and I just placed this on the top, just to kind of make this a little bit better defended, I guess. I like doing these kinds of windows on guard towers and stuff just because I feel like it's a little bit safer than just having it open or just having the bottom railing. And then I wanted to use these angled floors from CVA, so that's what I end up doing. I end up placing it on that side to have a walkway down. And I like the way that this actually turns out. I block off this area with some junk walls, and then I fill in the floor with um, plywood and some other stuff. No actual floors or anything like that, but I just use some plywood and stuff like that. You can't see underneath it anyway, so you can't really see that there's nothing holding it up. But right here, I'm just going to fill in the gaps with this piece. And I'm looking at that leg on the left, trying to make sure that it's not clipping. And then I looked at that leg on the right to make sure that it wasn't clipping through that junk wall. Just details that I'm going to notice. So then I go to the, not the walls section. Oh, the half walls section. And I get half walls and I fill in the gaps on the walls to kind of block this building up a little bit better. And then after I get that the right angle, I realize that this isn't going to get any better. So what I end up doing is I get another half wall and I put it on the other side as well. But this is kind of like a more complicated build compared to like the last one. So like when I did the guard tower, uh, I think that that was the last video that I posted on Friday. Uh, but yeah, it was because this would be the next thing. So this one's a little bit more complicated. I probably could have done something a little bit more interesting over there, but I didn't feel like it was like needing to be some like ridiculous build. Also, the rocks kind of made it hard. It not being a flat surface and stuff. I mean, a lot of you guys were really supportive about it being so simple, pretty much, and you guys were like, "Oh, not everything has to be like ridiculous." But I'm just a huge person about detail, and I like to add as much detail as I can. Um, and yeah, I just kind of wished that I had added a little bit more detail. I can always go back and add more stuff, but that wouldn't be in a video. But I probably won't, just because this is kind of getting a little big. The settlement is kind of becoming a lot. Uh, I think that there's like almost 15 videos here, which is more than I had expected to do. I really was originally just going to do the house, and then I was like, I have to do something with the outside because it doesn't really make sense to just do the house. And so that's why I kind of have done a few videos. And then just for like RP wise, I need a farm and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do next. And then it'll probably be the last of the videos here, and then you guys will get a final tour of this settlement. And then I'm thinking Murkwater next. Uh, I've been wanting to do Murkwater for a little while. So we'll see. But here's the final tour here in a second for this build. And not too much decoration. I added like an awning on the front, which I didn't show in the video. I didn't even know I had it like in the game, and then I found it and I was like, well, that's kind of awesome looking, so I'll just throw that on. It could be pushed over to the left a little bit. I realized that right about here because you can see the gap a little bit, but it still looks like it is on there. It's kind of hard to see that little gap, but got a guard up there and everything. I used the NPC section in USO. Um, it's really useful for placing on guards because they don't really wander a whole lot, so that's kind of cool. That's one of the guards I think from the upstairs. No, I added a guard later from the upstairs, and I added just it's really minimal decorations, just like a couple chairs and stuff for people guarding. Um, and then there's some like lockers with a bunch of ammunition in it, which is kind of cool. One of the only things that bothered me about these lockers is in one of these, you guys will probably notice a mini nuke, and I really wouldn't want that right there. There's too many nukes, all those missiles and stuff, because those explode when you shoot them, so kind of wish those weren't there, but you know, whatever. But I added some a wooden beam right there across the top to kind of close this gap, make it a little bit more narrow, and I think that it looks pretty good. I like the way that that turned out. But right here you can see they stand on these and everything like that, so I thought that this turned out pretty good too. But let me know what you guys think of this build. Let me know what else you guys would like to see me build. I've got a couple ideas for Murkwater, because like I said, I think Murkwater's next. But I'd like to hear what you guys have to suggest. about Murkwater as well. So if you guys have any ideas for Murkwater, um, or anything else for this settlement, I'm gonna do some like farmhouses, or well, yeah, I'm gonna do some like farmhouses and then also like a farm build type of thing. But let me know what you guys think of this build. Let me know if there's anything that you guys would like to see me build anywhere you'd like to see me build. Just give me your ideas and stuff, and I'll try to implement them if I think that they would fit. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.